Welcome everyone to the Inspired Teachers YouTube channel. I was really pleasantly surprised at how much everybody was able to um, receive the two or so Taiji Classics lessons that I posted previously. I got some great feedback. People were able to apply those lessons, and so I'm really inspired to do more. I am the inspired teacher. What I'd like to do today is a very short, easy to memorize Taiji Classic from the Mental Elucidation. And yet, sometime when something is simple, it doesn't mean it's easy, it means it's less complicated. This is simple, but it's really deep. This classic says, take steps like a cat walking. So when you think about a cat walking, you think silent, soft, balanced, and controlled. So that's kind of what kind of steps we want, whether we're doing solo form, sword, pushing hands, whatever. Actually in life. I'm going to give you some lessons on walking in life too as well. This classic dovetails really perfectly with the stand like a balanced scale. Once you have your balance mechanics, your alignment correct, we can talk about the quality of steps that you take. Here's 3 ideas for steps. One is called an empty step, and that literally means when I step, this foot is empty of any weight. I can place it down, I can pull it right back up. I can place it, I can feel what's going on down there, I can adjust with it. It is the most safest way to walk. When I first moved to Minnesota, I was surprised at how in the wintertime everybody did Taiji. They had very nice plumb alignment and taking empty steps and carefully shifting and being really, cautious with the ice. That's one way you could think of when you're doing the empty steps in, say, your solo form. You can just imagine there's ice there, or there's a hole there, or it's the middle of the night and you're barefoot and the kids have left the Legos out. You want to make sure that you're just placing that foot, feeling what's there. Once you're comfortable with what's there, then you can transition your weight. So that's an empty step. Also with empty steps, not only do you want to know where you're stepping and where you're going to transfer your weight to, this is also a sweep defense, somebody who's going to trip you. So if you step with your weight, as soon as you step and your weight's on the double, if someone were to kick that foot, I would be right down on the ground. Whereas if I practice doing an empty step, if someone were to kick that foot, my foot would just move. So what I want to do is I want to also think about that for self-defense. If I put my foot down and someone were to kick it, would I lose my balance or not? If I put my foot down and someone were to kick it, would I lose my balance or not? So that's another way to think about it. There's a line in the Tao Te Ching, it says, a sage is cautious like crossing the ice. So you can think that when we're doing the form, we're like a sage who's cautious and we want to be careful about, stepping on the ice. So that's an empty step. We've got a half-empty step, which is when the heel lands, I'll be empty, because you can see it's not affecting my center line, my plumb line. But when the toe comes down, I'm going to have to move a little bit. And this is good for starting to stretch out your stances, starting to get a different level of strength in your legs. Use this one when you're really positive, you're certain of the place that you're practicing on. No holes, no huge clumps of grass, no Legos, no pits of snakes, the whole idea. So a half-empty step is where the heel has the emptiness and the control, but it's far enough out that if I put my toe down, I've already shifted a little bit. And then the third one is simply a soft step. I'm not going to have that control It might be I'm trying to reach for something. I'm trying to get a longer stance. I'm trying to get somewhere, or even like say in the sword form, the places that we jump and we want to land. So that's just going to be just a soft step. I might not have the control of an empty step, but I want to have it be as soft as possible. The classics also talk about forward and backward, left and right, up and down. In Taiji, we have the 5 internal and the 5 external elements. So the 5 external elements are our steps: advance, retreat, look left, gaze right, and central equilibrium. That's 5, but actually in the center, we have 3 possibilities. So starting with forward. When I go forward, I want to make sure the correct part of my foot lands. So going forward, I want it to go heel, toe. If I go toe, heel, it's like an opposite and equal reaction. It's just not going to feel good. When you test these, I'm going to give you 5. When you test them, you can always test them by going fast. So if I were to take a very slow step and go toe, heel, that might feel good. But if I do it really fast, I'm gonna feel that kind of shock. So forward is heel. When I step right or left, it's gonna be toe. If I try to do it with my heel, I gotta use a lot of energy to pull that toe up, and then also it's gonna clunk a little bit. Whereas here on the side, I'm gonna step toe, heel, and then shift. All I gotta think about is if I were skipping. If I'm skipping, cloud hands is slow motion skipping. It's toe, heel, toe, heel. I mean, if I were to go heel, toe, I could get away with that going slow, especially if I hadn't had a lot of relaxation. But if I try to skip on my heels, I'm just going to feel it. It's going to shake my teeth loose. When you go backward, again, it's toe, heel. It's really hard to go heel, toe. And again, if I want to go at a normal pace, it's really simple. If I were to walk backward, heel, toe, it's really difficult. Now, another one is in place. So if I'm in place, I also want to go toe, heel. I'll give you up and down. Like say if I'm jumping. If I'm jumping, I want to jump and I want to land toe, heel. I don't want to land on my heels. Again, it's going to shake my molars loose and knock my teeth out. A practical idea, and you can experiment with this: when you go upstairs, toe, heel. When you go downstairs, toe, heel. It's just going to make a nice, smooth, soft, controlled transition for your stepping. One thing the Tao Te Ching says: take as much care at the end as you do in the beginning, because that's where the mistake happens. Sometimes we do a lot of really good prep and we do the kick and then we fall. You want to make sure that you take as much care getting back down from the kick as you do from doing the kick. As much care as you can up, and the same thing, as much care as you can down. So the basic idea is, if I stay straight, it's whatever naturally, the most natural part of my foot touching. So if I just relax my foot, you can see in the front it's the heel, the side it's the toe, and the back it's the toe. So that's which part of your foot touches down when you're stepping. My teacher, Master Choi, he had a very simple idea for stepping and feet. He said if you want to be mobile, moving around, and he's thinking mostly for self-defense, you want to be on the toes or the heels. And if you want to be powerful, if you want to get as much power as you can out of the ground, you want to be on your heels. So he had a really simple formula. He said heels for power, toes for mobility. I hope this helps you with your solo form, your sword form, your pushing hands, anything you do, and absolutely in life, whether you're going up or down stairs, you're walking on the ice, you want to be really aware of your feet, your balance. A lot of these classics and principles that we're applying to this Tai Chi solo form, you can apply it to your whole life. Especially as we age, we want to be careful that we don't fall. When we're 20 years old and we fall, we get a boo-boo. When we're 80 years old and we fall, sometimes we die. So we have to be careful how we step, how we balance, and how we move. I hope you get a lot from this one. This one it's very simple, but the more you look at it, it's really deep. You can apply lots of ideas to your solo form, and it'll make your solo form it'll really get it nice and smooth and soft. It'll refocus your balance and give you lots of good health benefits. Thank you again for your comments, the encouragement. I've got a lot of lessons that we can apply from the classics to your solo form and to the pushing hands and weapons. They apply to it all, and meditation as well. Until the next time, I hope you take steps like a cat walking.